and good day to you. I hope that you are doing great and having a fantastic summer. This is Roger with Groovis Games Unlimited, the creator of the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade, and thank you so much for your time, interest, and for joining me for this special showcase video series I have wanted to do for such a long time for people. Throughout the years, I have had people ask me, what exactly is the Avalon Adventure board game and what is Dungeon Crusade all about? So I wanted to create this showcase video series that will show each and every unique aspect of these games and some of the unique game mechanics. This introduction and overview video will have a longer run time, but the videos that follow will be anywhere between 2 and 4 minutes. Before we get started, I definitely want to start with this for you. I'm a super passionate creator, and the community and the fans of the game are my #1 priority. We took the time to listen to our fans and address a few issues so we could give people the best experience possible with both games. Let's go over these real quick. First and foremost, there is a brand new revised rulebook for Dungeon Crusade. It is much slimmer and straight to the point, explaining the rules of the game. I worked with a very awesome gentleman named Ilpo from Finland, and he was the editor on the Dungeon Crusade section. The rulebook has been given out to some reviewers and other people, and they've had excellent things to say about it. We're excited to get this into your hands in PDF format in the very near future. There's also a brand new solo Crusader mode. We've had people ask, I want to play Dungeon Crusade with one hero. I went to work and we got this done for you. So now you can play Dungeon Crusade with selecting one hero, your trusty fetch hound Albus, and there's a brand new mercenary camp in the village where you can hire up to 2 mercenaries to help you out. If you're thinking Diablo 2, that's exactly what inspired me to create that. You'll be happy to know there are now 2 different combat systems in the game. There's of course the classic combat system, but there's the brand new revised combat system. This offers a much quicker combat system and a much shorter playtime. There's also a new scalable difficulty reference card to help out your level 1 and level 2 heroes. This affects the traps in the dungeon, the trap treasure chests, and the challenges and events in the encounter deck. This was a small change, but it was a huge difference, and it made the game much more enjoyable with your level 1 and level 2 heroes. The game time has been reduced to offer a quicker game time, and this is in direct correlation with the new way you combat minions in the game. Also, it is easier and quicker to set up Dungeon Crusade with a few changes we made. There's also a new minion movement speed track that you can use during the monster phase. Other than that, there were a few other tweaks and balances to the game. All in all, as a creator, I am so happy where this game is at, and it has been truly perfected and honed. Lastly, like I said, the revised rulebook will be available for download in PDF format. We're excited for you to check it out, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how it turned out. Okay, we're going to get rolling with the video now. So for this format, what we did is we shot many small videos so you could see just about everything that's within the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade. So as you're taking a look at this and reading some notes we put on the screen, I'm just going to chat with you about the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade and kind of give you some backstory on me and some of the games that I played and why I wanted to create this. Also, before we begin, do know that we are in a reprint that we are sincerely grateful for, and there is an active pledge manager. Late pledging is available, and the pledge manager will be closing in August. So there's no hurry, guys. You can take your time, but I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised with everything that you're seeing in the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade. I'd like to start off with a little bit of an origins story for you and just what I was out to do and some of the games I played, and I'm sure you've played some of these. But years ago, I set out to do something different in the fantasy adventure RPG dungeon crawl genre and give fellow gamers and people something that was very creative, innovative, thematic, immersive, challenging, and fun. I am a die-hard soloist board gamer, so I built both games from the ground up for the soloist gamer, but each of these games can be played co-op just as easily. Ever since I was young, I've been incredibly passionate about the fantasy adventure RPG and dungeon crawl genre. I grew up playing board games like Dungeon Quest, Dark Tower, Warhammer Quest, and of course, Hero Quest. But I also I love those PC RPGs from that golden era, as I call it. Games like the Ultima series, Eye of the Beholder, Might and Magic, Icewind Dale, Wizardry, and my personal favorite, Baldur's Gate. Plus, there are just so many more games I can name, and I am a huge Diablo junkie. I poured a lot of creativity, imagination, thematic storytelling, passion, and ingenuity into designing the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade for people. I genuinely wanted to give them a new experience and something to really enjoy. In this series, and actually a little later in this video, you're going to be learning about the patrol route system. I have always wanted to create a living dungeon experience with monsters and creatures moving throughout the dungeon with unpredictable movement patterns. The patrol route system in Dungeon Crusade works incredibly effectively for this. Almost too good. Again, we'll have a video dedicated to this, and I think you're really going to enjoy what this is. You never have to think for the monsters think for themselves. Also, I did want to mention we're taking a look at Albus, the hero's fetch hound. Anyone who knows me, I'm a huge dog lover. I have 3 crazy dogs. So Albus is your fetch hound. You can send him back to the village to retrieve potions, gear, torches, while the heroes are within the dungeon. Okay, and we're going to be chatting about the Avalon Adventure board game here in a minute, but I want to say something about Dungeon Crusade. As you can see, this is a huge game. It's quite girthy, but please know, I don't like complex games. The game mechanics you'll find in Dungeon Crusade are very easy to understand, and definitely in the Avalon Adventure board game. So while the game mechanics are easy, I wanted to get people's minds on the fun stuff, like strategy, tactics, planning, and most certainly speccing out your heroes and leveling them up in different ways. That is one of the big things about Dungeon Crusade, is to be victorious, you're going to learn there's 6 different warfare types, and you have to spec them out, how you see fit for your strategy to be victorious. So just know, yes, this is a big game, but very easy to understand, as you'll be learning about. Okay, so let's chat about the Avalon Adventure board game. So this is a highly thematic and creative choose-your-own-adventure type of game that offers unlimited replayability. And let's touch on Dungeon Crusade real quick. That's the same way. While the dungeon is static, everything that goes into the dungeon, and I do mean everything, is randomized from game to game. So you'll never see the same game twice. Also, there's 6 different difficulties in the scenario system. So I did want to touch on that. But going back to the Avalon Adventure board game, the hero's goal is to recover the 3 runes of eternity that are randomly scattered throughout Avalon. However, there are some fake runes. The heroes must journey to the many different locations in Avalon, such as dungeons, towers, runes, crypts, forests, groves, villages, tombs, castles, and they have to flip over the tokens to discover if they found the real runes or a fake one. Each time the heroes enter into a new region of Avalon, they will experience a unique event, encounter, battle, or situation. There are 259 unique events and encounters just in the Avalon Adventure board game. And like I said, you'll never see the same game twice. In each game, a player will create the bronze, silver, and gold treasure chests. You'll see a little video towards the end of this. Any loot and gold the heroes find in Avalon can be carried over into Dungeon Crusade. The treasure chests are randomly generated for each game. So I love choose your own adventures. So this was my chance to do something very innovative and creative to create a choose your own adventure game where you'll never see the same game twice. I wanted to take the player through the land of Avalon on an ever-changing adventure. I did a ton of world building for this game and wrote so much lore for people to be immersed in while they are playing. Along the way, your heroes will meet many NPCs, good factions, evil factions, characters, legendary heroes, and they will pop up in the quests in Dungeon Crusade. So most certainly the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade do tie in together. So let's chat about Dungeon Crusade now. The first thing to know is this is an open world dungeon crawl board game, possibly a first of its kind. There's nothing linear about it. You can go where you want, do what you want, and complete the quests as you see fit. You can play this completely solo or with others, as in co-op. You can play with 3 heroes, 4, 5, 6, or even 7 or 8 heroes. And if you're really bold, you can try Mega Dungeon Crusade with 9, 10, 11, or 12 heroes. So after playing the Avalon Adventure board game, or do remember you can go right into Dungeon Crusade, a player will select one scenario from the scenario book. Also, you can tweak and adjust every single option in the scenario and select from 6 different difficulties or mix and match them. When you look at a scenario, there are 3 quest tables, level 1, level 2, and level 3. There is a main quest, a side quest, and a Kill the Guardians quest on each of these quest tables. A player can go about however they want to complete these quest tables, but it is recommended to start with quest table 1. From there, the massive dungeon is loaded with tons of different kinds of monsters and creatures. There's minions, champions, and guardians. There are level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 monsters and creatures throughout the dungeon, and you'll discover elite monsters. After the heroes complete a quest table, the heroes will head to the village for something called Celebration Day. They can level up their hero, choose to go into the House of Chance and play one randomly selected game of chance, purchase new gear from the blacksmith, go to the temple to receive a blessing, receive healing, visit the bazaar for consumables, go to the academy to pick up new special abilities, and a few other things. Also, the villagers will give them one Celebration Day gift. After Celebration Day, the heroes will make a second delve into the dungeon to complete Quest Table 2. When that is finished, they go back to the village for one final Celebration Day. They will then make their final delve into the dungeon to complete the level 3 quest table. If they do so, the heroes are victorious. There are so many other things in Dungeon Crusade I could mention, as you've seen in this video. The encounter system, the secret rooms, the crate system, picking locks on doors and treasure chests, secret doors, mining and crafting, mystery chambers, the patrol route system, the treasure chest deck, which is the ultimate in risk and reward, the unique quest system, the House of Chance in the village, and there's just so much more. So when you look back at all of this, like traveling the land of Avalon, everything that happens and transpires in the Avalon Adventure board game, going from level 1 to level 3 with your heroes, going to Celebration Day, the different dungeon delves, it's a very epic and grandiose adventure dungeon crawl journey. And that's what I was out to do for people. Give them something new and innovative and creative to experience and enjoy. I also want to mention that there are other add-ons for Dungeon Crusade. I left you a link for a video I did a little while back that goes over sort of the entire Dungeon Crusade universe. There are difficulty decks you could add to the game. The game ships with normal difficulty monsters, which are plenty tough, I assure you. But there's also heroic and expert monster difficulty decks. So you could even mix all these decks together so you don't know what you're fighting. Or there's a cool variant where you start out fighting normal monsters, and as you kill them, they kind of level up to expert and then heroic. So do check out the link to see that video so you can see everything the game has to offer. Also, Colin over at One Stop Co-op Shop did a fantastic playthrough of the Avalon Adventure board game. I would encourage you to check that out. He did such an awesome job. Lastly, that Justin over at Board Game Losers, the YouTube channel, did a really great review of the game. He's not affiliated with us, and that's what I like. It's a straight, honest review. I left you a link for that. And he has a copy of the revised rulebook, and you can see the nice things he said about it. I believe it was a huge improvement over the original one, and he was just very pleased with it. So do check out Justin's review so you can get someone totally different and another perspective on the game. Okay guys, we're going to be wrapping up this introduction and overview video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And most of all, I hope you learn more about the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade. I had a great time doing this one, and our next video is going to be the 5 phases that comprise a turn. So that one will be next, and again, it'll be anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. So as we close out here, let's take a look at the 4 dungeons in Dungeon Crusade. That'll be coming up in a moment. So we have the Ancient Ruins, Castle Blackwood, the Cavern of Lost Souls, and the Tomb of Kaladar. So there is the Ancient Ruins, kind of like just a classic dungeon. And then we have Castle Blackwood, followed by the Cavern of Lost Souls, and then finally the ultimate death trap dungeon. I loved creating this one, the Tomb of Kaladar, and there are 6 environmental hazards. And lastly, we're just going to touch base again. The Solo Crusader mode, I have to say, we thank you so much. When this mode was introduced, it opened the game to a much wider audience. And again, this is where you can select one hero, your trusty fetch hound Albus, and you can hire up to 2 mercenaries from the brand new mercenary camp in the village. So a very exciting mode, much shorter game also. Okay guys, thank you again for your time and your interest, and remember there's a link for the Pledge Manager if you want to look at anything. And if you need anything, I'm always available 24/7, 365 days a year. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and happy gaming, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.